If I lost everything today, my first 90 days would look like this. Hi, my name is David. At 24 years old, I was let go of my corporate job. By 34, I was financially free with an 8-figure net worth. I've been there, done that. And what I did in the past, not necessarily works for the future and right now. So many things have changed with AI that we have a business mentor at our fingertip with Claude, with ChatGPT, with everything out there. So the first thing I would do is I would sell before I would build. And what that means is the first 30 days, I would break it out like this. First, I would do research. I would spend a day, 2 days, 3 days on Claude, on ChatGPT, going back and forth with what are the best boring businesses. I wouldn't start with a tech firm. I wouldn't start big. I would start small. I need to get my feet wet in entrepreneurship before I start scaling and making more money. Make the mistakes on a small business because you will make mistakes versus going after a big business. So I would give a prompt into ChatGPT. What are the 10 most boring businesses that people need in my region? It would spit the 10 out. And then you ask it, okay, explain which ones I can do without a license or a degree or whatever you don't have, put that in. Out of the 10, it might restrict it to 5. You take that 5 and you dive deeper into it. Get 1 to 3 that resonate with you. And then what I would do is take one and go sell it. So if you're doing power washing, driveway power washing, or house power washing, or mobile cleaning of the car. Let's take mobile cleaning the car. I would knock on everyone's door in my neighborhood and I would pitch it to them. And before I would pitch it to them, I wouldn't have all the equipment, all the stuff that's needed. I wouldn't spend $1. I wouldn't build a website. I wouldn't do all of that stuff. I would just have those conversations. Go up to someone on the door, and the fear of failure is going to be through the roof, but you need to get over that. Because if you can't sell to an individual in front of you, how are you going to build a tech company and sell someone online? Completely different skill set. So learning how to sell and being out of your comfort zone would be the first thing I would learn. So I would knock on people's doors and say, do you need your car cleaned? Guess what? Instead of selling it for $200, I'm selling it for $99, 50% off, and I can do it tomorrow. I can do it next week. I would get people in the door and I would start selling to them before I have any of my product. And on top of it, you're learning rejection, you're learning how to make money, you're learning what resonates with people. And if you go across your neighborhood in the next day, 2 days, 3 days, and try to sell and no one's buying it, maybe it's not the right product. Maybe it's not the right service. If it doesn't resonate with people around you, don't quit after the first one. Do 100 people. And if you don't get anyone, do another 50. And if you don't get anyone, then move on to the second thing. Maybe a mobile cleaning in your neighborhood or in that neighborhood doesn't work. Try something else. But you're not spending any money, you're just using your time and you're gaining experience. And once you do that in entrepreneurship, it's all a cycle. Try it, see the reaction, take the feedback, apply it, and move on. And that's exactly what the first 30 days would be. Trying different things out and trying to sell and landing your product. The next 30 days is after the 30 days of you trying the different services, the different products, and seeing what resonates with you, you want at least 5 people to buy from you. Once 5 people buy from you, the next 30 days is to service them. And what you do with servicing them, you do it to the best of your ability. You don't hire it out. You don't hire a subcontractor to do the work. You're there, you're cleaning the car, and you're seeing the reaction from the customer. You're seeing how you are receiving money. Are they sending you through e-transfer? Are they paying you cash? How are you receiving money? How are you paying your bills? Are you buying equipment and those equipments are costing more For example, cleaning a car. You need products to clean your car. How much are those products? If you sell it for $100 and those products to clean your car are $50, your profit margin is $50. If it takes you 3 hours to do it, you're making $15 an hour. So you're starting to play with the numbers at that point. With context of the first 30 days, knowing that, hey, mobile cleaning, the average person charges $200. Why are they charging $200? They're charging $200 because that's what the market dictates. And they've probably already done the research that there's a product that they have to use that costs $50 and they want to make $50 an hour because it takes 3 hours. So you're doing the math equation on that. And once you do the math equation on that, so now you have your market research and now you have what people are willing to pay and how much your cost of goods sold are, what it actually costs to deliver that service or product. Once you have those two things, you can rinse and repeat in the last 30 days. You can then, from a sales script perspective, go to another neighborhood. And instead of selling 5 people, you sell 10 people. And instead of you selling 10 people at $100, you sell them at $125. So now, instead of you making $15 an hour, you're making $25 an hour. You're doing the math and you're consistently going up. And then once you realize what your true costs are per client and what it takes you, and you've developed your script for that client, then the next month you can do 20 clients. And you can turn that idea into a viable business within a 6-month time frame. But instead, and this is where a lot of people get it wrong, they work backwards. Instead of going and doing the market research or having those conversations with clients, they'll buy the product, spend money, it not work out, and they drop the whole idea. And that's exactly what I'm doing for Taxifi at a bigger scale. You can now go into Claude, build a prototype, reach out to clients, show it to them, get their feedback before you build. There's never been a better time to be an entrepreneur because now you have all this research at your fingertips. You just gotta do. I just left a podcast with an individual and his quote is, "Entrepreneurs are doers. They get shit done." If you wanna be an entrepreneur in Canada or wherever, you just gotta break it down into small pieces. Start with the idea, gain the research, go talk to someone before you spend $1. You don't need to build a website. You don't need to be out inside your computer doing it. You need to go talking to people. And the talking to the customer is the perfect person to start with. Getting their feedback on what they want. You can look at all these people on social media and say, oh, they've done it. It's taken them years to get to that point. It's taken them years to build an audience. Just had another person on my podcast. They're building their personal brand. They've allocated 5 years to build their personal brand. This shit takes a long time. But if you break it down into smaller portions, it becomes manageable, digestible, and actionable. And those are the things that you got to really think about while building a business. So my recommendation to anyone who wants to start a business, do it based on a 90-day plan, get your idea into Claude, break out what your idea is, what you feel passionate about. And the first business is not going to be something you absolutely love. It's getting your feet wet for a future. You put yourself in the game for future success. Doing this business, do it for a year. Gain some money, then move on to another business. Get your foot in the door, and then it will build from there. That's my recommendation for anyone who wants to start a business. Start at a 90-day plan. Start with Claude, get research, talk to clients, sell before you build. Once you sold your product or your service, nail down what the cost of goods sold is. Once you nail down what the cost of goods sold is, rinse and repeat. Do that for a year. Don't change the trajectory. If you like it, continue. If you want to alter it, You have all those same skills to start another business. And this is the second business I'm starting. I have so many skills that I can move a lot faster because I've already spent 15 years doing it. Building a website, doing all the things that I already know how to do because I've already built it. And it's taken me 10 times less time, less money, less everything because I've already been through the grind and actually done it. And that's the message here for you.